What's going on, Beaches, and welcome to episode 1289 of the Daily Swole. Thank you so much for being here. It's your boy, Papa Swolio. I am driving in the car. Don't worry, both hands on the wheel. We are going hardcore deep today on 1289 because I am going to see my best friend since I was fucking like 8 years old. The first time I moved to Connecticut, he was one of the first people I met, and I grew up with him, and we've stayed close ever since. One of the few people that I retain in my circle for all these years. I don't have many people that I associate with in the sense that I keep my circle tight, and we talk a lot about that on the podcast and in a lot of my content, and today going to go into a little bit more depth with that. And for those of you that are interested in getting the live stream, remember that the live streams are exclusively for Swolenormous X members when I travel. So if you want to get access to the live streams and never miss a single episode and bonus content, because I am going to do a live stream with my friend, and also you will not be getting that here. So if you want exclusive content as well as the daily live streams, so kind of like a bonus podcast, essentially. That's what it's turned into. It's delicious. It's amazing. And you can get access with unlimited and uncensored memberships. If you want to learn more, of course, you head on over to swolenormousx.com, and all the details will be over there. And you can join the fam for as little as $2.99. That's less than the price of a peppermint mocha fucking latte. So don't slack. Don't waste money on shit you don't need. Get what's going to get you fucking yoked and ripped and healthy and on track for 2020. Jump into Swolenormous X right now. Learn more, swolenormousx.com. Also dropped a brand new video on the YouTube channel, the Swolenormous YouTube channel. It was about travel. It was about airports and dieting and eating on the road and stuff like that. So really great content, real great conceptual approach that I've learned over the course of my career and my experience with traveling. So go check that out on the Swolenormous channel as well, right on YouTube. Okay, fam. Love you. Let's get into today's episode 1289.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 1289 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and ye old hoes? It's your boy Papa Swolio coming to you from a rolling cast. I'm driving while I'm gaining. However, the rage is more tempered. I am up in Connecticut. I'm visiting home, and it is cold as fuck. And these roads, holy shit, I forgot how much elevation exists in Connecticut. I'm so used to Florida where it's just flat. The only elevation you get is when you're on the on-ramp to the highway. I will say it's so wonderful to breathe some actual fucking air, to see some actual fucking trees, to see some actual fucking nature. It's so barren and so just built up in Florida. It's like who can swing the biggest dick, who can build the biggest building on the beach and the biggest tower, and it's just construction. Every time I come back home, extremely small town, it's nothing changes. People get pissed off if you put up a different sign. Oh my God, there's an electric sign. We should be using our money differently. This is such a waste. It doesn't look right. There's no shrubbery around it. It looks all concrete. People get really defensive when you change anything. So it's so funny how Florida is the place where if things aren't changing all the time, you're doing something wrong, you're not making enough money, you're not maximizing profit. And then you come to a small town, if anything changes, people get pissed. So you got that like dichotomy that's a real nice juxtaposition to experience and to get away for a couple days. So a lot of you already know that the internet at my house is, I wouldn't say it's dog shit, I would say it's less than dog shit. So I can barely even upload something to like Instagram or Instagram stories, let alone do a podcast, let alone upload the podcast, let alone live stream or anything like that. So what I've been doing is the exclusive live streams for the Swolenormous members. Whenever I'm traveling, you get exclusive live streams inside the private Facebook group for Swolenormous X members. And again, I mentioned this in the pre-roll. You go to swolenormousx.com to learn more. With uncensored and unlimited memberships, you can get access to the live streams and never miss a single day of a live stream. So you're getting bonus content. If you're a member, this is bonus content because you're also getting a live stream as well. And yesterday, I was with Grandpapa Swolio, which was fucking awesome. And that was really fun. We went to a coffee shop in the town, and we did a little live stream. So a lot of you met Grandpapa Swolio, the OG Papa Swolio, for the first time. And today, going to do a live stream with my best friend since I was 8 years old. And right now, I'm driving alongside a lake, and it's shimmering. It's cold. It's like 37 degrees, as opposed to in Florida where it's like 85. So it's exciting. It's nice. It's a nice drive, and this will be a nice conversation. So don't worry, I got my headset on, I got my earbud in. We're all good. So I got both hands on the wheel. I'm not going to rage on anyone here. The rage is a little tempered. I don't think anyone else will understand driving while gaining. I don't think they will. You don't get stupid people crossing the fucking road like you do in Florida. You don't get the same kind of stupidity. You can't rage the same way, because there just isn't the opportunity. People aren't as brain dead as they are in Florida. That's for damn sure. So let's see. The traveling has been another eye-opener. I haven't traveled in months, been to the airport. So I made some content about how fat people are yesterday. We talked about that on the podcast. I talked about it on the YouTube drop today. Just how depraved people are and how addicted people are to food. Like literally addicted. How it's not just, oh, people are getting obese. You know, everyone's getting diabetes. Everyone's fucking dying from heart disease and metabolic syndrome, and people are getting their legs amputated, and fat acceptance, body positivity. It shows how serious those issues are. There's nothing positive about being obese. There's nothing. I understand if you want to love your body. I understand if you want to appreciate, your curves and what you have. But the reason why you have curves and the reason why you have so much is because you earned those curves. You created those curves by overeating, by under-exercising, by not taking care of your health. So what really needs to happen is context around what obesity is. And there might be a few rare situations where you cannot control it, and it's just something that's out of your jurisdiction and something that you haven't been able to change. Maybe you had a tragic accident and you gained weight because you were immobile for a year. I mean, there's always those situations. So if you're one of those people, then you don't let this kind of stuff bother you, because you're not obese by your choice. Something happened and you're going to have to work on it, and you're just maybe behind the 8 ball a little bit, and you're going to have to work a little extra hard. But a lot of people give up too early. People give up too early when they feel like, okay, I need to change myself. I'm obese. I know it's a problem. And then they try. They don't see progress fast enough. They give up, and they just kind of translate over into acceptance rather than, you know what, I'm never going to give up. I'm not going to stop until I make this happen, until I get results. They never settle. And a lot of people settle. A lot of people would rather settle for body positivity. A lot of people would rather settle for fat acceptance because it's easier. You don't have to put in work. And one of the reasons why people don't make change, and I've been thinking about this more and more, and this is something that I've talked about many, many times, but it's just more and more evident the more I talk to people, because for those of you that are Swolenormous X members, you know, via Swole Text, we've been having a lot of one-on-one conversations. So I'm getting a lot of feedback all the time and kind of going to a little bit more depth on what makes Swolenormous X so powerful for you. What have you learned? What are the major changes and things that you have done in your life and implemented since joining Swolenormous X? And one of the things that is really the feedback, the vast majority of the feedback, is the community, and how, as amazing as the yoga studio is and the programs and the nutrition, all that stuff inside X, like the actual content, everyone loves the family so much. The community is everything. And it really gives people that support and that tight circle that they don't have. And I mentioned in the pre-roll, or I forget at the beginning of this podcast, that my best friend that I'm going to see, I've known him since 8 years old. I don't keep people in my life long term unless they really earn it, unless we really have that connection, unless they really inspire me, unless there's really something there that is a two-way street of value. And I've talked a lot about being more selfish with your time and not giving out your time so lightly, and not, because your time is your most valuable asset. Everyone thinks of money. Oh, this costs money, or I'm making a sacrifice. I have to pay for this. I have to save and not buy these things in order to purchase this, blah, blah, blah. And money can always be made. You can always make more money. You can always get another job or wait 2 months and accrue that same money. You know what I'm saying? You can always make that money back. Money can be recycled and regenerated. Kind of like you're playing a video game, you get an extra life. Regenerated, extra life. Same thing with money. Same thing with any kind of material possession. But time is the only thing that, no matter how much money you have, whether you're a billionaire, and even if there were trillionaires or quadrillionaires, you would still only have the same amount of time. Now, you could pay for other people to maybe do some menial tasks that you don't have to use your time doing, but you don't get any more time. You will still only have the same amount of minutes, the same amount of hours and days and moments that anyone else will have, or that you would have had with less money. You still have the same amount of time in a day. So how do you spend your time? Your time is more valuable than money. Your time is more valuable than money. If you take anything from this podcast, it's that time is more valuable than money. So where are you spending your time? Forget the money. It's so easy to default to things that we can actually quantify, because we can't quantify time well as humans. We have watches, we have things. We don't have a concept of, 40 years in the future. We look back and we realize that time goes fast or slow, or, oh man, this week went by, or it's November already, or it's almost December, oh shit, it's Thanksgiving, or it's almost a new year, it's almost 2020. We kind of had these perceptions of compressed time or expanded time based on our perspective and how much we've done in the year and whatever it is. But how you spend your time is more important than how you spend your money. Time can make money, time can make friends, time can develop relationships. And wherever you're spending that priceless time is going to determine how much progress and how much success and how much value your life has to you. It's important that you're selfish. It's important that you're selfish with your time. A lot of you are spending time with bullshit fucktards. Literal bullshit fucktards. You are wasting your most valuable asset, resource. You are wasting something, literally pissing it away with people that do not appreciate you, that do not deserve your time, that do not deserve that kind of usage from you. And they're not inspiring you. They're not providing value. They're just a drain. And a lot of us have had those people, whether it's, unfortunately, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a boyfriend or girlfriend, maybe it's someone in your family. And a lot of times you can't get away from these people if you're living with them. If you are still living in your parents' place, you have to deal with them. If you have a brother or a sister or a roommate or a parent, sometimes you're in close quarters or in close proximity on a regular basis to people that are just shitty fucking people. Let's just put it that way. And it could be a coworker too, which really sucks, which will really make your waking moments and your experience at what you do every day for a living more miserable, for lack of a better term. And this can come in a lot of different shades, a lot of different variations and extremes. But think about that today, especially after you listen to this podcast, whenever that is. How are you using your time? Are you using your time wisely? Are you just spending your time with people because you've always spent time with them? It's very easy to fall into habits of going to, doing a certain thing, going to the movies on a certain day once a month or every Saturday with a certain person, or going to the gym with a certain person, but they don't work out as hard as you and you kind of feel like, ugh, or they're always skipping and canceling. You're spending your time, or you're allotting you're sticking your neck out to a person that is not respecting your time, that doesn't match where you're trying to go, where your head's at. And I've gotten this feedback a lot from people that come across my content. They have a mental shift, something that I say kind of clicks, and you start analyzing and becoming more aware of what's going on your day to day. And you start it changes your perspective and you realize, oh shit. And you have that kind of seismic shift where all of a sudden you're looking at things differently. And then comes the challenge of shit. Now that you're thinking differently, now that you have this realization, man, I need to take care of my time better. All of a sudden, you're in this situation where you can't maybe always just eject. Maybe it's someone that you work with. You can't just fire them, or you can't just kick them to the curb. Maybe you still have to interact with them. Maybe it's a family member you live with. I mean, you still live with them. You're not just going to necessarily move out the same day, or you can't just tell them to go fuck themselves right away. But you're going to have that shift, and then you're going to start noticing that extreme black and white contrast from what we're talking about here and your new feeling and your new perspective with what's actually happening. And nothing has changed but your perspective. Let that sink in for a second. Nothing will change, or nothing will have changed except your perspective. People don't change that easily. They can, but it's not like, hey, I'm going to change. It's someone working on themselves on a regular basis. Like, you're always working on yourself, or you should be. If you want to see proper change, you need to be investing in yourself. You need to be investing in your self-development, whether it's meditation, reading, listening to podcasts like this, having good conversations, just reflecting. And it's important to reflect more often. It's important to dig in a little bit more inside ourselves. And a lot of times what we do is we do it extrinsically. We watch movies, we kind of outsource our free time to something that just absorbs it. We outsource time to Netflix. We outsource time to shitty friends that don't appreciate, self-improvement, that don't appreciate health and fitness. And these are things that you can't just force someone. You can't just tell someone, hey, you need to take care of your health. Come on. How many of you have a family member, if you said that, you got to take care of your health, you got to get in shape, stop eating that, don't eat that, this is a better choice, you got to go to the gym. How many people do you know that would actually do something as a result of that? Like, they're not going to change. People don't change that fucking quickly. People don't flip the script that easily. It takes time, and it takes you leading by example, and it takes kind of that self-realization on their part. So leading by example is important, hopefully guiding them towards their own personal realization. But fundamentally, what can you control? You can control how you react. You can control your perspective. You can control who you spend time with. That's what you can control. You can control who you spend time with. You can't control how they think. You can't control what they do. You can't control their passion. You can't control their interest. You can't control their actions. You can't control anything that they're doing. What you can control is what you are doing and whether or not you want to surround yourself with that. Do you want that to be around you? Do you want that person to be an influence on your life? Do you want that person to be who you're spending your time with? And it's very easy to waste your time. It's very, very easy. Everything. I shouldn't say everything. Most things in life. Most things around you. Most things that you are going to encounter when you pick up your phone. Most things are going to be time wasters. Simple. Most of them are going to be time wasters. Most of them are going to be drains. Most of them are going to be sucks that do not facilitate your own personal growth. So no matter what you do after you listen to this podcast, no matter what you do in your life, what you're passionate about, how passionate you are about health and training and nutrition, it all depends. It all has to map towards your goals. Like if you have aggressive goals, you need aggressive action. You need aggressive discipline. You need aggressive consistency. If you don't have super high level goals, you might not need that kind of level of output. You might not need that kind of same relentless intensity. It depends. But make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that are going to facilitate where you're trying to go. Again, it's very easy to not do this. It's very easy to not notice. It's very easy to just essentially just blend in with everyone else, because no one else around you, chances are 999 times out of 1,000, people are not thinking this way. And hopefully it will develop more and more into a society in which people do think about this and people do address this more often. But it's not what people are trained to do. And what does train people? School, education, movies and content. And most people are getting taught in school to follow the leader, to just answer, not to think, not to be creative, just to spit an answer back and get a good grade. So the teacher can say, good boy, good girl, yes, you're such a good boy, you got an A+, you got 100, you wrote down exactly what I wanted you to write down. It's a game of follow the fucking leader. It's not a game of thought. It's not a game of critical thinking. It's not a game of self-development. It's not a game of philosophy and introspection. It's a game of monkey see, monkey fucking do. That's all it is. So you have a choice. You can go through your life and stay with the monkey see, monkey do, or you can take control of your situation, who you spend time with, what your mindset is like, you know, how you interpret data, how you interpret things around you, how you spend time, how you use your time, who you spend your time with. I probably repeated myself a couple of times. A lot of what I'm saying is redundant, but start thinking in this manner. And realize that you're the one that has the fucking choice. You're the one that has a choice. If I tell you to raise your right hand and you do it, you're the one that fucking raised your right hand. I told you to do it, but you did it. You have the ability to walk where you want to walk, to drive where you want to drive, to speak how and to whom you want to speak. It's that simple. It sounds so fucking stupid and rudimentary, but guess what? The most life-shifting and life-altering mindsets are really the simplest ones. I'm always saying focus on the basics, focus on the fundamentals, focus on the things you can control. Focus, focus, focus on the basics. If you focus on the basics, you're going to get amazing results. Most people don't master the basics. And why would they? Why would you master the basics? Most people don't promote the basics. Because if you're promoting the basics don't sell well. The basics don't grab a lot of attention because the basics are what? They're basic. They're boring in a world of Instagram and YouTube where everything is just fucking your eye holes every 2 seconds. It needs to be something really, outstanding in order to catch your attention. So the basics aren't sexy. The basics aren't attractive. The basics aren't something that really, is titillating. It's not stimulating for most people, but the basics are what gets the most results. Mastering the basics will get you amazing fucking results. The most muscle I put on of all the summers in which I was training, when I was really like, I want to bulk, it's fucking bulking season, I'm going balls to the wall, the biggest result, the biggest landslide of amazing progress that I ever made was one summer when I trained at home, exactly where I'm standing right now. Well, not in this moment, I'm driving, but where I was in the basement, and the basement floor is fucking dirt. Had just a bar. My stepfather had built a squat rack with fucking wood poles and drilled out the little slots for the little pegs so you can change the height of the bar and stuff like that. This is all handmade. If you're doing a lat pull down, the lat pull down was for a rope attached to gears. So you weren't even lifting weights, you were lifting fucking car parts. I mean, this was gangster ass shit, but it was weights. It was resistance. And it was literally the game of progressive overload. Like you were lifting more weights. I was doing pull-ups, squats, bench, deadlifts, rows, curls, dips. Literally the most basic, fundamental exercises all summer. I got fucking huge because I ate like a beast and I trained super fucking hard with the basic exercise. And I'll tell you what, if I did the same thing today, I would still grow. The basics work. The overload works. Most people don't work. Most people don't put in effort. Most people don't try enough. Most people don't. Straight up, simple, end of fucking story. Most people don't put in work. That's as simple as it needs to be. Most people just don't put in work. Most people don't put in effort. Most people don't know what effort actually feels like. Most people don't like to push through pain. Most people don't like most, blah, blah, blah. Most people this, most people that. Most people, the majority of people are overweight and obese. Take that as the guidelines for what most people do. Bringing it back full circle, being in the airport, everyone's fucking fat. Everyone's obese. Everyone's sedentary. Everyone's eating chips. They walk around with drinks and chips on a fucking plane. No one's moving. You ready for this? No one is moving more than a couple inches or maybe walking to the restroom. You're on a fucking airplane for 2 or 3 hours. You do not need simple carbohydrates. You do not need chips. You do not need fucking cookies. You do not need liquid sugar. People are drinking fucking ginger ale and soda and Coca-Cola and apple juice. Kids are getting apple juice. You don't want your kid to fucking freak out on the plane, then don't inject them full of sugar. It's lights out fucking retarded. Everyone's just consuming garbage. And they're not moving. People aren't fucking moving. Like, how the hell do you think you are not going to be 400 fucking pounds when you're barely moving and you're just stuffing your face? Seriously. It's insane. Absolutely in-fucking sane what people allow themselves in terms of slack, in terms of justification. Oh, well, I'm on the plane, like as if it's like a lot for a lot of people. Let's be real. The large amount of people, the most, I guess, the average, the majority, when they travel, it's an experience. It's a rare event. Most people don't fly frequently. So I do understand when you're in the airport, it's like, oh, you're going on a flight. Ooh, chips. Ooh, a free soda. Someone's going to bring me a free fucking can of 5-cent soda. That's like an exciting thing. It's a rare thing to be on a plane and you're getting off at a destination. You're probably going on vacation. You're going to visit someone you haven't seen in a while. So you're excited. And I totally get it. But that's one specific situation. When we're looking at a society and we're looking at the overall perspective of what everyone is doing, it's like, fuck me, sideways, inside out, and backwards. There's no reason why everyone should be stuffing face. Not only that, especially when their guts are hanging over their waistbands already. When they're already fucking fat. And we're not talking skinny people. We're talking already obese. Already overweight, not looking healthy, already not exercising, already not taking care of their nutrition. If anyone was justified in, okay, having a bag of pop chips or a bag of cookies on the plane, it would be someone like myself. I'm always taking care of my health. I'm exercising. I'm focusing on this. I'm promoting this to those around me. All that stuff. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I don't do it simply because I just don't feel like it. I'm not trying to be, holier than thou. I'm not trying to show off like I don't even eat chips on a plane. Nah. I don't give a fuck. If I ate them, I would tell you I ate them. I mean, there's no need. I just don't want them. I don't want to eat them. I don't feel the need. I would rather eat food or not eat for a couple hours and then enjoy my favorite foods when I get to my destination. And enjoy an actual meal. You know, people can fast. People can go without food for a couple fucking hours. It's just busy time. We don't know how to be quiet. We don't know how to be calm. We don't know how to be with ourselves. We don't know how to go within. We're always trying to offset and, again, outsource our entertainment. We're outsourcing our thoughts. We're outsourcing our opinions. We're outsourcing our exercise and nutrition. We're letting other people prepare our food. We're letting other people tell us what to think, who to vote for. Like everyone's just following like sheep. You're letting people make those decisions, all your decisions, your life decisions. You're going to college. You're going to study this. You're going to do this. You're going to buy a house. You're going to picket fence and a fucking dog and pop out a couple kids. You're just following a system. Following a preordained system that doesn't have to be followed. If you want to follow it, that's fine. That's a whole different conversation. But why are you doing what you do? Why are you surrounding yourself with the people that you are surrounding yourself with? This is all by choice. That's my point. Everything you do is your choice. What kind of choices are you making today? What kind of choices are you making this week, this month, this year? And what do you want to happen? And then cross-check that with your choices. Are you actually making the right choices then? Are these the optimal choices for you? Could you make better choices? Are these choices going to deliver the results that you want? Do you have goals? Should you have goals? Why don't you have goals if you don't? Why don't you have things that you're trying to achieve? Why don't you have priorities? Why aren't your priorities aligned with your goals? Why aren't your priorities aligned with health? Why don't you want to live longer? Because if you're making poor choices, essentially you're saying, I don't want to live a long and healthy life. I don't mind if I get diabetes. I don't mind if I get cancer and die younger and miserable and uncomfortably. That's essentially what you're saying. Now, it doesn't mean that if you have a piece of pizza, you're saying, I don't mind dying younger and getting cancer. We've all pretty much had pizza. I've eaten junk in my life. I used to eat a lot of shit food too. I have perspective. I know what that food tastes like. I know that it tastes good because I know they fucking make the food to taste good. They want you to buy it. No shit. Shocker. So think about that. What choices are you making with your time? Are you spending your time wisely? Are you spending your time with people? What choice are you making? Who are you choosing to spend time with? What are you choosing to eat? All those things. Choices, 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 and control. For all the things in our life that we cannot control, there are so many things and so many chain reactions of things that will happen for what you can control. And it's amazing and a little bit disappointing and discouraging to see so many people that have the little control that we have already, and so many people just voluntarily relinquishing that control and just happy going through their life passive, with no action, with no ambition, with no real interest in the only fucking body that they have. So it's something that I want you to think about. It's something that frustrates me. That's where you get some fire fucking content. That's why this podcast was absolutely the fucking bee's knees and the nit's tits. That's why this content is always current, because these are the types of things that we always have to deal with because of the majority. Everyone around you, the language, the verbiage, the emotion, everyone around you is pulling the opposite direction. Everyone around you is doing the opposite. So the real question is, are you going to take control of your life? Are you going to take control of your thoughts? Are you going to take stock and invest your time and effort in improving yourself, your well-being, and spreading that to those around you, and being that person, being that anomaly in your society, in your little group of people, in your circle? Are you going to be the anomaly that cuts through the noise? Are you going to be the person that is noticeably different, that stands out with how you talk, with how you think, because you're an individual and you're not standing for this kind of sheepish bullshit? Thank you so much, fam, for listening to episode 1289. I really appreciate it. A reminder that these are traveling casts, and every time that I travel, exclusive live broadcasts will only be for Swolenormous X members, and you can learn more at swolenormousx.com. If you want to get access to all the exclusive live broadcasts, you can get that with uncensored and unlimited memberships, which means you can start for as little as $2.99, less than the price of a peppermint mocha choca fuckaccino from Starbucks. You don't have to spend $5 or $6 on bullshit sugar. You can spend less than half of that in many cases and make some sick fucking gains with us inside the Swole fam. So I hope to see you there. Check out Swolenormous X for more details, and I'll see you real soon for tomorrow's episode 1290. Peace, Miggies fam. Deuce Magoose, ya boy, Papa Swolio. Out.